What's up, everybody? A little bit of a long form one because I ordered a bunch of Secret Lair. Unfortunately, I only was able to get one of the Iron Maiden ones. I was in queue for quite some time. I think I was able to finally get my order in maybe like 2 hours in, and I got into the queue as soon as I was able to. The other Iron Maiden one was already sold out by then. At least I was able to get one of them. So I'm happy about that. This Secret Lair art is obviously just for the Iron Maiden one. I'm going to put that off to the side. Not sure what we're looking for as far as like the bonus sheet. I did get a couple of them spoiled to me. You know what? I did get scissors. Let's use the scissors. Some of them got spoiled to me. I think some of them don't have multiple bonus cards. I think you're just kind of like, it's like the same for one of the Furby ones, I think, is a command tower. This one, I think, is Burnt Offering. I'm not sure. Let's get it up over here so you can see them. We've got Lethal Scheme. And you know what? I should sleeve these, but we'll sleeve them after we take a look at them. Grave Titan for Number of the Beast. We got Animate Dead. These are obviously like awesome reprints, and the fact that they were Iron Maiden, I had to get them. Temporal Trespass. Iron Maiden was one of those like bands that my brother got me into a lot when I was growing up. There's Unearth. And they were pretty influential to me as a musician. The fact that they're still at it is kind of crazy to me. Lignify. And then our Burnt Offering. I do have a bunch of copies of Burnt Offering, but like obviously this one's the coolest. And I am a Rakdos player, so we'll use that. I'm gonna sleeve these up pretty quick. Now obviously, like, I could see that there's a lot of grievances with the way that the Secret Lair system is set up. I mean, I've got a couple of them. I just did an opening of the lands that were like $1 a piece, which were absolutely insane. I do believe there's one or two other sets from like the super drop that was on Halloween that used those same lands that were in it in the bonus sheet. I'm just kind of like, I'm a little upset that there was a couple that I couldn't get. Like, obviously, the one with the demonic tutor, that thing is going for crazy money. And the artwork on that is really, really nice. So, you know, there's some times where they do these reprints of cards that I know that, like, I have no chance of getting otherwise. So, like, hopping in a queue for a couple hours and trying to get one, I mean, seems to be even more for like, you know, $40 or, you know, $60 or whatever the price of the version that they're doing seems pretty reasonable. I mean, like, you take a decent amount of these cards and price them out like individually, and you know, you do end up most of the time getting value of cards that are more than what the price point to enter was. And then obviously, because I do enjoy playing the game, I mean, like, yes, there's collectability to these, but there are reprints of cards that I want to play, and being able to have like a cool version of it along with being a card that I can actually play seems pretty reasonable. Now, granted, like, the only reason why I was more inclined into going into a couple of these Secret Lairs is because, like, you know, I'm not really much of a Universes Beyond person, so like I wasn't too excited about like the Spider-Man stuff, and I'm not like crazy about the Avatar stuff. There's some stuff that I think is kind of interesting. I like the idea of like the Commander bundle thing, and some of the Tutor reprints that they have in that are absolutely crazy. So I might try to get a Commander thing, but you know, we'll see. Got Distant Melody. This first, I didn't go with like the crazy confetti foiling. I just went with like the rainbow foiling. I figured that was like, you know, kind of flashy enough for most of these. We've got Explore. Yeah, because I mean, you do get like a lot of like shininess to these. And I think these are like, I like having the dichotomy of like, okay, really crazy metal artwork, and then like some really nice, fun, almost like Lisa Frank-esque inspiring call. You know what I mean? Like, not everything always has to be dark and dreary. I mean, obviously, like here I am playing, I'm a Rakdos player, but like, you know, I love chromatic lanterns and I'm going to use this. Like, it's super awesome. I don't know. And then the Soul Ring is wild. So, I mean, like, how could you not want to use that? It's just a crazy looking Soul Ring. And then the Command Tower. So, yeah, so I figured like some of these, we already knew like what some of the bonus sheet cards were. So I figured I'd open these up at the front. Now, obviously, I am a NEPA native. So even though I'm not a huge Office fan, I felt compelled that I absolutely had to get the Dwight pack. Obviously, to do Reaper King too. Because, I mean, like, I always wanted to build the Reaper King. I have, like, I love like scarecrows as a typo. There's not a ton, but like even just doing that and just using it for changelings, I think is going to be a really cool way of building it. And using a bunch of these cards that I think wouldn't fit in a deck otherwise. So I am also a big like Wooburg player, so that's why I was also compelled to get the Chromatic Lantern. I have a couple different Wooburg decks. I have Maria Vandrell for the rooms from Duskmorn, which was my first one that I built, actually, that I really enjoy playing. I think rooms are severely underrated. Technically, I did build an Ezio deck that was Wooburg, just to kind of slam a bunch of assassins in. I did rework that because I wanted to try to make that a little bit more playable and try to make it almost more mono black. I'm still working on that. I have obviously the Wandering Minstrel one. I've got a dragon one that's Wooburg. Yep. And then I feel like there's one more and I can't remember now. That's how much I'm like building decks, you know. And even for a lot of these cards, that was why I felt compelled to grab these. Like a Sphere of Safety at any print is going to be a nice card to have. So, I mean, there's a lot of like really nice cards in this set. So, first one being obviously Sphere of Safety. I don't know why I keep like opening those like so high up. It's just because I don't want to like drop anything on these either. This miscast, right? I have a feeling that this was supposed to be more of like a force of will kind of thing. And then they were like, yeah, we're not going to make it so that you have to buy a Furby set to get a reasonable price of Force of Will. But I mean, like when you look at the artwork, like the kind of like sphere bouncing thing, like that just kind of gives me that kind of vibe. So I don't know. Maybe it was something that was supposed to be something else. Phyrexian Arena, which obviously is a great playable card. A little evil Furby in the background. Tormenting Voice. The goblins in the front, running away from the Furby. Now, this obviously was another reason why I wanted this one. This safekeeping is really neat. But the fact that Tamio is holding a Furby kind of makes it that, like, I guess for our Furbies now canonically in Magic. Ooh, an Arcane Signet. Okay, sweet. That looks pretty crazy. Holding a flail. Awesome. So, I mean, great playable there too. So I can't complain with a lot of these cards. I'm going to be using all of them in my decks. And you know, getting a couple of these as opposed to getting a box of the next set or like trying to get like a bundle and some collector boosters. Like I was always the type of person that like when I maintained a confident collection, I tried to get in at about like, you know, $100 or so at each set, just so that I had a decent amount of stuff that I could play with and just kind of work with whatever I opened. And, you know, without a lot of other sets this year, like making me that excited, I was like, you know what, like maybe this is the time to get some interesting stuff that's more collectible, but also like excellent cards to play with. So I'm not sure like how you guys feel about Secret Lair stuff. I mean, obviously they're stupid tough to get. And, you know, pricing on a lot of this stuff is kind of questionable too, because, you know, when they first come out, obviously a lot of people want to try to grab it because, you know, it's the newest, coolest cards or whatever. And Interesting. Nice. You know, the FOMO kind of like hits, and like, you know, people want to try to like get in while the iron's hot, right? And I don't really have that. I don't share that same kind of like FOMO experience. Um, I just kind of want to, like, obviously you have to grab it when it comes out so that you don't have to pay like exorbitant amounts of money. I didn't go foil on these just because, again, I just wanted to play with the cards. I didn't have a copy of Heliod, so I figured this was like a funny version of Heliod to have. Same thing with Steel Shaper's Gift. Like, these are excellent cards to play with. You know what I mean? Like, a tutor for an equipment for 1 mana seems good to me. Swords to Plowshares, obviously the flavor on this with him holding a giant beat, like it's great. Some of these are just a flavor win, and then obviously just, you know, again, copies of cards that I didn't have before. Baral, Dwight, assistant to the king. That was kind of funny. We're into the Recyclops. Eco-friendly. Obviously, we'll flip this over. Try not to reveal too much of the next card. I guess we're going to have to. I mean, obviously, that was for the Reaper King. That's the whole reason why I got it. Yep. I mean, like, I can't wait. I can't wait to build this. This looks so good. All right, so if you don't know, there's a couple of different bonus cards on this. Let's see if this is the one that obviously, like, I think everybody's going for, the Tragic Slip or not. Let's see. Ghostly Prison with the stapler in the Jello. Actually, that's pretty awesome too. That's a fantastic playable. Yeah, and I didn't have a copy of that, and I think this is a fantastic version. So I have to say, pretty good pulls. And I also didn't realize that like the bonus sheet card was a foil, regardless of if the regular set was foil or not. So that's pretty sick. All right, a little bit of a longer one just to get through some cards, but I appreciate you sticking around if you did. I did record some shorts, so if you didn't get a chance to check out some of those, I recorded a pack battle on Halloween, and I do have some other stuff like planned out. I'm gonna take apart some of my decks and kind of do like some like deck, not a full-blown deck tech, because I don't feel like my decks are good enough for you to just like build based off of mine, but just give you some ideas of like some synergies between some cards and some combos, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that too. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.